Are recording. So you'll see here that this is our test client. This is not a real client, so don't worry about information being on the screen. First thing you're going to make sure that you do is that you are entering data as the project that you are putting the client into, right? We've talked about that several times. But to do that, you would just click over here as the enter data as, and then fill in whichever project that is. So for this project, we're going to say that they are entering URBA's rapid rehousing program. Um, And so they're actually already in the project. That's why I'm having trouble finding it. So we're going to try and do that right there. We're going to click on the plus sign, and then you'll see how it puts it up there on the screen next to it over there. So that shows us that we are in the correct project, okay? Next, we're going to pull up the client. I've already had this client in here, so I'll just go ahead and click on what it was. But you could go over here to clients, and you can search that way as well, either by name or by client ID number. Once you pull up your client, then you're going to go to this entry exit tab, okay? And we are going to add an entry. So I'm under the, we're going to pretend that with this client that I was told to go ahead and put him in the program today, he's going to start looking for housing. Okay, so we're going to put him in the rapid rehousing program. To do that, I'm going to click this add entry exit button right here. And then we also need to click who in his household is entering, right? So this household has 4 people in it. So we're going to go ahead and click this button up here on the left. That gives all of the check marks right here. If for some reason the household this is not correct, it's changed since then, you're going to actually click cancel right here and go into the household tab and adjust that before you come back in here. Okay. But for this purpose, we're going to say that everybody in the household's correct. The type right here is always HUD. So we never use any other ones. And then you're going to click save and continue. Okay, and when this screen pulls up, this is what we call the HUD assessment. So if you hear me reference that, this is what this actually is referring to. So the HUD assessment, all of these questions will need answered for every single adult member of the household. Okay. There are a couple fields for the children that need answered for each child, but most of the answers for the children pull over from the adults. Okay. So in this case, our test client has actually been enrolled in a project before or has other entries. So that's why this information is pulling over. However, it is very important that we check the information to make sure it's accurate. Um, so right here it says, yes, he has a disabling condition, relationship to head of household, enrollment COC. All right, so on here it shows a move-in date. So this move-in date is from a different enrollment. So we actually need to clear this out because as of right now, this client is beginning to look for housing. He is not housed, right? So we need to clear that field out. Let's say that right now he is currently staying in his vehicle. And he has been that way for 1 week or more, but less than a month. So he's done that for 2 weeks. This episode of homelessness started, if it was 2 weeks ago, we'll say it started on 14th. And he has actually been homeless. This is the 3rd time that he's been homeless in the past 3 years. And so total months homeless, maybe he's been homeless for 6 months. And I'm going to say that at this point, this client does have income. Okay, so all of these questions are very important to update each time we have a client that's getting a new enrollment in the system. And then we're going to look at income. So I'm already seeing some issues with his income right here that we can discuss, okay? So first of all, in the system, if we ever have any income listed at all, this needs to be yes. Receiving income source needs to be yes. So we actually need to go in here and update this one. Because what that is telling the system, if we put no there, then it's basically voiding out whatever we've put in there for their income. So if they had income and it changed or it ended, that's fine, right? But it would still be yes, they were receiving income between these 2 dates. So if I tell the system, no, they were not receiving income between these 2 dates, it just voids it out like it's a 0. Okay, so it's always important to make sure that they're saying yes. And we're actually going to put that this client, that income that he had on here, say that it ended in 2023. Okay, so for this situation right now, our client, yes, he has income. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to click add And maybe he gets $500 a month right now in TANF. So we're going to click the $500. We're going to click TANF. Receiving income source, we're going to always put yes, right? And then we'll say that he started receiving TANF on February 1st. Okay. And you'll notice that that bumps the newest one up to the top of our list. So there's that. You'll also notice that we have the check mark right here for the HUD verification. So that's showing that everything, the system is running the thing to make sure that it's pulling that information correctly. If for some reason we had, show you. If one of these fields did not have data in it, right? So if I did not have like workers' compensation as a no, then this would actually have a red exclamation mark over here that you'll need to click on before you can clear that, okay? So after we put that data in for the income, we're going to come down here to total monthly income, and we need to also update this. So right now he's receiving $500 a month for that TANF. And he actually is receiving non-cash benefits now. We got him signed up for SNAP benefits. So we're going to put yes for this. And then we're going to add. You don't have to click the amount of benefits if you know that that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. We're going to put SNAP benefits. Maybe he's receiving $200 a month. Yes, he's receiving. And he's been receiving that since February 1st. Okay. I'm going to click save right there. He is not covered by insurance yet, so we're going to put no for that. He's working on getting Medicaid assistance. All right, so now down here comes the disabilities part, okay? So at the top of the screen, if you'll remember, we did mark that the client has a disabling condition. We marked that as yes. So we also have to mark down here what those disabilities are. If for some reason we put yes up top and then did not click something down here, it will provide an error, okay? So on the list of disabilities, you've got alcohol use, both alcohol and drug use disorder, chronic health condition, developmental disability, drug use disorder, HIV/AIDS, mental health, or physical. Those are the options that it gives you. For this individual, we've marked that he has a mental health disorder, so that's marked on there. So that will make that not show an error at the top. Okay. The next part talks about survivor of domestic violence. Okay, so in this case, he is not. If he was, and I clicked yes right here, then I would need to answer these other questions right down here, right? If yes for survivor, when did the experience occur? And then if they are a survivor, are they currently fleeing? So those questions all pull into that HUD assessment and into that prioritization list that we have. All right, and then that's all the parts that we use for that. So then you could click save, because remember, this is just for the adult. And so then I want to verify with the child. So on the child, on anybody that's under the age of 18, the spots that you have to fill out are, does this child have a disabling, or does this client have a disabling condition? Again, if you mark yes here, you need to come down here and make sure that there is a disabling condition in here, which in this case there is not, right? Because this is showing that our information is not complete. So we need to go into this HUD verification, and this client has a mental health disorder. So we are going to edit that, and we're going to say yes. Okay, save and exit. All right, we're just going to say for everything else, they have no. Okay, and so once I've got that all updated, then that gives me the check mark. Okay. Again, you don't need to worry about the health insurance, non-cash benefits, or income parts for the child because it will pull all that from the adult. Okay. So that's the first thing we check out is, does the client have a disabling condition? The second thing is the relationship to the head of household. So what is this person in relation to the very first person we did, right? This is the person's child. And you can click save on that one. The next client on here looks like it's a child, but it's over the age of 24. So we would need to complete all of these different categories for this person, right? So do they have a disabling condition? We're going to say no. We're going to say that this is also the head of household's child. They're in the 515 COC. Everybody on that call is the 515. They do not have a move-in date, right, yet because they are currently looking for housing, staying in a vehicle. They've been that way for a couple weeks. This is for the third time. And for this client, we're going to say that she does not have income. So we're going to click no there. And then we need to make sure that all of our verifications are completed so that we can clear those errors. One thing I will say too with SNAP benefits, so if one person in the household is receiving them, you can go ahead and mark that for everybody, because the entire household is benefiting from that. Excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. Okay. Health insurance, I do not have health insurance at this point. No DV. No disabilities. Okay. So then you can click save. And then the last household member, which this was the one that's a test client too, it's not even all completed. You would go through and fill out all of the information again. If this is an adult, if it's a child, you would just have to fill out this one right here. And they do not have a disabling condition. Okay. All right. Are there any questions on that? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop sharing then and quit recording.